Welcome to the Haunters Playground, the place where people who love everything spooky and scary come to play. I'm your host, your ghost host, Christopher Abram. Now, during Hauntober...
That was pretty cool how you did that right there. Made your whole self disappear like that.
What are you talking about?
You just made yourself disappear. How'd you do that?
What, when I said I was a ghost? A ghost host?
You disappeared completely. You didn't say it?
I'm going to do that in post. I didn't really disappear.
Yes, you did. You just disappeared right now. I swear to bejesus, you just disappeared right now.
Okay, fine. I'm your ghost host.
Look, you did it good. I didn't feel it. You disappeared.
I thought you were going to have a reaction.
I did. I go like that.
Did you see him move? I didn't see him move. They didn't see him move.
Well, you can make it look like I just dodged a train or something.
Wow, everything goes into post. Anyway, I'm your host, Christopher Abram, and Josh is back. Yay!
Hey.
We haven't seen Josh since he was getting on the short bus, headed off to school. And just so you know, no, Josh isn't in middle school or grade school. He's in college.
What, the short bus?
It's a special college, but he is in college. But lots of people like the double tap. So
yeah, what was about that anyway?
Well, I got to represent. Got to show everybody that I mean, haunting goes beyond just decorating your house, or it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. You know, as some of you say, haunters for life.
You know, you look like you copied off of a movie from somewhere. I believe so. Don't remember the movie, but it looked like you copied.
It was a good movie. And I wish they would hurry up with a sequel. Now today, our guest is David Friedman. David is an audio engineer, and he's a brilliant audio engineer at that. And that's why we really have to cut down the interview, because he's very technical. As a matter of fact, he's like advanced college course technical, and so we're really going to chop it up. We will have the entire interview available for people to watch it after we're done with all the segments. So we're going to go to that, but also want to highlight Ltol. I think that's how, I'm going to just call him Ram. Most of you probably know who he is. Ram is our home haunter of the week, and this guy is amazing, seriously, and you can go to his YouTube link down here. But if you guys haven't seen, this guy does tutorials like you wouldn't believe. I mean, he does amazing stuff. I have watched his LED tutorials. He built like 60 LEDs for his haunted tent stuff, and we were watching it earlier. It's amazing. Great props. Very detailed, love it. So Ram, thank you for giving us permission to highlight you. And so at the end of the episode, we're going to kick out his 2011 video on the end of here. So if you haven't seen it, just stay tuned for that. But now we're going to David, and we'll see you shortly. Hello, David.
Hi, Chris. How's it going?
Going well. We're at WaveMaker Studios. David, why don't you tell everybody what it is that you do?
So WaveMaker Audio provides audio services for production and post-production services.
And so, now, are you classified as an engineer? Because I think that's what I told.
That's true, yeah. So I'm an audio engineer. And yeah, both in training and by trade and practice.
So, for those who aren't in our industry, explain to them exactly what an audio engineer does.
So, audio engineers are responsible for recording, editing, and mixing sound. And the types of projects we get involved with are commercials, film, television programs, as well as what we call industrials, which are corporate communication projects, such as internal training for a corporation, for example.
So, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on, not only for the fact that we've worked together for a couple of years now, I guess, a lot of independent movie makers and haunted houses and everything like that, everybody's going to use audio somewhere, some way. We've talked about you doing some audio for independent films, but one of the things in the haunted house industry, some go with music, others go with sound effects, and others go with ambient sounds. What are some of the things that people who may not have a huge budget, what are some of the things that they can do as far as creating those sounds? Or how can they make those sounds stand out without, just turning up the volume?
Right. So, when it comes to independent filmmaking, half the battle, I think, is simply getting to an environment that's quiet. And so that has a lot less to do with your technical acquisition of sound and a lot more to do with just the pragmatic logistics of choosing, for example, to shoot in a location that isn't noisy. So if you're shooting outside, be conscious of the fact that, am I in an airplane flight path? Am I near a train track? Is the neighbor's air conditioner running while you're shooting? And taking care of those details in terms of just logistics and operations on where you shoot. If you're shooting in a room or a house, turn off the air conditioner, for example, so you don't hear the air blowing and the fan turning, things like that. The other thing that falls along the same lines is mic placement. Mic placement is half the battle. It doesn't matter whether it's a $2,000 mic or a $200 mic. The placement of the mic is significant in terms of make sure it's on axis, make sure you're in close proximity, make sure you don't have two mics crossing each other, so you have potential phase cancellation. Again, all of that can be accomplished and managed regardless of budget. So whether it's a high budget or low budget, those are all things you should be doing either way.
One of the things that David was talking about with location in my first movie, we shot a mile north of Texas Motor Speedway during the race season. We were in the glide path of Alliance Airport, and we were a quarter of a mile from a gun range. And literally on one day when we had Burton Gilliam from Blazing Saddles on the set, we had race cars that were doing their time trials, right. We had airplanes flying over, and we had guns going off.
I think that's Jack's boy. He called me and said he didn't come home last night. You didn't see anybody else around here, did you? The Anderson girl, she was supposed to have been out with him last night.
No, he's all by himself. People are going to start asking questions again. I told you I would help you with this, and I always have. But we can't keep covering this up year after year after year.
Look, the last thing I need is the state police coming in here and breathing down my neck and checking out everybody's backyards. This is a peaceful town. Ned, they pay me to keep it that way.
And because of someone like you, people watching the movie had no clue, because they were able to go in and remove all that noise. And so I'm sure that must be one of the headaches you face as an engineer, of someone who doesn't know about proper mic placement, or this is the only way we could get this shot, was we had to be here, and so all
That's
the noise.
right. Yeah, sometimes you can't control these extraneous factors that introduce a lot of noise into the mix. The creative aspect of the project takes priority, and so then you end up in a scenario where you have to fix it in post. And so in the post-production phase, there's certainly opportunities to do that via ADR, automated dialogue replacement, as well as cleanup, certainly, of trying ultimately to lower the noise floor and whatever sounds you want to pull out. And there are certain techniques and certainly software plugins that will help achieve that in the post-production world. But it's expensive, though. So that's where you see projects get derailed, but either financially speaking, or even if it's if you're getting the audio work done on the cheap in post, then it's a time expense. In other words, it can derail the project, not necessarily financially, but in terms of just getting completed, because it takes so much more time and effort than to fix it in post, that it could delay a film. Even if it's just by a couple months, that might be a couple months to put it past the entry to a film festival, for example. Mm-hmm. So you'll miss your entire goal of the project. And so a lot of it can be fixed in post, and certainly there's always a percentage that is. But having said that, it's a lot more expensive to do it that way. So the earlier you catch it in the process, the more efficient it is.
I've through the years come across different people with the want of wanting to make movies, or wanting to do even just do shorts. And one of the things that I'd always come across is so many people not realizing just how much work is involved with finding the right locations, using the right camera, mm-hmm. having the right microphones. I personally have 6 different boom mics, from the short shotguns mm-hmm. all the way, to I think the longest one's 18 inches, because of those different environments. And,
right.
A shotgun mic is a directional microphone that has a cone, I guess is
sure. That's a good way of saying it. Yeah.
Of how it picks up. What we're using are lapel or lav mics, and so with different microphones, you get different sounds.
Right.
And it's the diaphragm. Is that what it is? Or?
Yeah, certainly the shape of the transducer, as well as other components of the mic, determine whether it's a cardioid or an omni pickup pattern, or a super cardioid, for example. But certainly choosing the right tool at the end of the day, whether it's the camera or the microphone or the lights, falls in that first half of the equation, which is all just operational and logistics type of things. And certainly budget does come into play there. You can get a lot nicer mics at higher budgets, that kind of thing. But I've certainly heard and have seen great shorts completed and delivered on what I generally characterize as lower quality equipment, but the use was proper. And so don't let the fact that you can't afford the best mic deter you, because if you have a lower end shotgun mic, for example, let's say, boy, if you're good at having good proximity and being on axis, it's probably going to be okay. And so a lot of those techniques that you would learn, regardless of the price of the gear, is certainly the foundation that you want to build upon. Because over the course of time, you'll eventually get hold of better gear as you move through your career. But we all start somewhere, and where we start is probably not with the best equipment, but if you learn the proper techniques, that's what's important.
Well, that concludes the first part of our interview with David S. Friedman. Pretty enlightening, wasn't it?
I hear everything, even God.
I don't think that's God. I think it's Gary Busey.
God
tell everybody that they need to submit their videos to be selected for our Haunter of the Week.
Y'all need to send y'all's videos to us, the Haunters Playground crew, so we can make y'all the Haunters of the Week.
Tell them the email address will be at the bottom of the screen.
And the email address will be at the bottom of the screen. Thank you, Gary Busey, for letting me know. Love you, even though you don't know who you are.
You're welcome. And as Josh was saying, Haunters Playground would love for y'all to submit. Since we already have one, we're going to go ahead and go to that one. Here is Ram's submission. It's his 2011 video of his haunt, and I can't wait to see this year's. I've been watching him for a while, and I'm really hyped up, especially by those LED lights. But here's 2011's video from Ram.
Haunted Tents 2011 Nighttime Walkthrough.
videotaping you. Come on, you're coming right now.